Hi, everyone. I have such a great chat today. We're celebrating YNR's 12,000th episode and more because I have with me two legacy fan favorite stars of the show, Tricia Cast, Nina, and Jess Walton, Jill, are with me today. Tricia, tell me about being back to tape these recent episodes of, Chances and Abby's wedding and coming home to YNR for a bit. Were you surprised to get the call to come back?
It was thrilling and emotional and joyous, and I had a great time. I was, surprised to get the call for sure, and very happy to agree to do it. It's a wonderful thing. I got to see all my friends.
God, it was so good to have you back. And over the years, Jill has kind of softened towards a lot of people, but you just came in there loaded for bear with Jill. Every time you spoke to me, venom was pouring out of your mouth. I was completely shocked. And I thought, oh, there's the old Nina. There's the old relationship. It was great. It was
Jill had softened a bit towards Nina over the years, right? Kind of?
Who? Are you asking me that?
Yeah, Jill.
Well, she hadn't seen her.
Right.
Well, she's just generally softened a little bit from her edginess, but it reminded me, I got edgy again when we had some fun playing those scenes. It was great. It was like the old days.
Yeah.
I mean, Trish was in the first scenes that I ever played. It was a storyline with Phillip. It was a triangle between Phillip and Lauralee, or Cricket, and you. She was Cricket then. And you. And I saw you as an upstart. They all said, she's you. When you were younger, that's who she is. That's why you hate her. They told me that because that's when I first came on. Everybody had to explain.
Tricia, you debuted on the show in '86, and Jess, you came on in '87, right?
I have no idea when I came on.
That's what I believe. I think.
Okay.
I
then probably right.
What do you remember?
She was already on. She was already on. Yeah. They were both babies.
So Tricia, what was your first impression of Jess back then?
I thought she was very elegant and very prepared. I thought that she knew who Jill was right away, and it was a seamless transition character-wise. So I loved how she worked with me. She took care to be just who the characters needed her to be, and it was great fun to have her added to the cast.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I was just very disdainful of you. They made me disdainful of everyone, actually.
That's the best, isn't it?
You were a tiny upstart, and I loved Cricket. I loved Cricket because Cricket was like high society. You know what I mean? And I wanted to be with Cricket. And then you got pregnant, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was a mistake.
Wait, but Nina manipulated the situation, right?
Me? I did?
I think you got him drunk or something, didn't you? Well, Jill has done that in her time.
Yeah, she has. She has. And you both won Daytime Emmys for your roles. Do you remember the night you won the Tricia, do you remember when you won the Emmy?
Yeah, vaguely, because I had an impacted molar. I had an abscessed molar. Oh, so I was on some pretty nice pills that night. And I remember clearly Kristoff winning. I was very excited. And then when they called my name, I don't think I want to remember that whole thing. And then it was, the whole weekend was a bit of a blur, to tell you the truth. It was, I was in pain when I wasn't doped. So.
Did you have a nice hotel room in New York? Was it in New York that year?
Oh, yeah, we
Were
did.
you
It
at the
was,
St.
I believe
Regis where everybody was?
the St. Regis. It was a beautiful hotel room.
Don't you miss those trips to New York for the Emmys?
I do. I
loved it.
really do. We had a lot of fun those times, didn't
We
we?
did. And we crammed in Broadway shows, as many as we could.
Yes.
So
Yes.
It was fun because we would fly out too. We'd fly out from the West. It was a big week.
yeah,
YNR would have all these little events and things, and we'd have didn't we have the Rainbow Room event?
the Rainbow.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, and I would
Sure.
do interviews with Soap City at the Rainbow Room, and we would do all of these things. It was a great time. And Jeff, you won 2 Emmys. What do you remember about? Was there anything particular? Like, is there a story like with each of those?
Well, the first one for supporting, I think it was in New York, but it was, I don't know, it was at some hotel, but it was afternoon. It was the last afternoon Emmy thing that they ever had. And yeah, I was completely thrilled. I remember being so happy. Well, both times. And the other time, I think we were staying at the Plaza, and I remember going to what was that room? The Oak Room? At
The Oak
Plaza,
Room. Yeah.
afterwards for the party
Yes.
or something. It was so
Yeah.
exciting because it's so funny. I mean, I don't know. There are so many wonderful actors that have never won Emmys, and a few people who've won Emmys that I thought was a little questionable. So I don't know that they're really that accurate. A lot of times they are, for sure. But I remember thinking that the leading one was the big one, and I always appreciated my supporting Emmy, but I remember thinking, but that's not the big one. And so when I was very, very happy that year. It was silly because that was the first Best Actress that YNR had ever won.
That's right.
So I remember that one. They'd never won a Best Actress before. So I was on cloud 9. And I remember, you know how Sally Field said that you like me, you really, really like me? I have to admit, even though I didn't say that, that was the feeling when they called my name. I went, oh my God, because I just thought of all my peers voting. And it was a feeling, it was a wonderful feeling. It really was. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Tricia, you mentioned Kristoff St. John, and I believe you started earlier in career. You had acted with him in another show, and how I wanted to talk to you a bit about him, and also about, you know, how did you feel about hearing the news of his passing?
I was crushed. I was devastated. I still don't know why that happened. It certainly had to be an accident. I don't think he would have done that on purpose. And so we were children together. He was my best mate on the Bad News Bears. We were both 12, I think. And so we went to school together every day. We worked together on the set every day. We would do a lot of promos. We'd go out and do parades and sign stuff. And it was always he and I who would end up just hanging out together, and usually like ditching the whole thing and finding, you know, something fun to do. I remember we did we would do fairs and carnivals and things like that, and we'd get ourselves lost and have a great time together. And our dads were actually friends too, so it was a nice thing. And then when I saw him one day in the hall, in the big hall there, I said, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Well, I'm on the show." I said, "No, it just can't be. That's just too good." And so I was hoping that we would get to work together more than we did, but I miss him. I think he's a beautiful man, and he's missed.
Very missed, Jess.
You know, what's really interesting is that you were both such young actors together. And there's something about having that magic when you're that young and you never lose it. I mean, you came in the other day and it's been a few years and you just hit the ground running, and he was a fantastic actor, so natural, and so are you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I work with you, you just bore right into me and nothing else exists. Everything goes away. That's what a good actress you are, you know? And he was the same. And you've always been like that from the very beginning. You know,
Well,
nothing changed.
Thanks.
You know,
Appreciate
Tricia,
it.
there was something I'm sure you know, but you know, when it was announced that you were coming back for this visit, this arc, people were through the roof overjoyed. They were so excited. You know, I have a post of fans, obviously, from this long career I've had too. And when they found out you were coming back, they were so happy. And I think there's such, you again, and I pivot on what Jess said about the ease in which you do your work. It's so natural. And you were always, everybody always could relate to her in some way. And even though when she would do horrible, you know, they related to her in some way and they loved what she did. And I think when they announced you were coming back, people were so excited, you know? And the same thing happens with Jess when they know that Jess is coming back for to the show when she's been away. And I think that speaks to the familiarity of Daytime and, you know, what you guys bring. I hope you know how much you mean to the audience. That's what I wanted to say.
I really appreciate that. And I think that it's true. I mean, that's what a soap opera is. It's the familiar people in your lives every day showing up and doing something that you either want to do or couldn't dream of doing, or, you know, wish you had the guts to do. But I think that, you know, that's sort of how soap operas work. And I'm so pleased to be able to come and play with everyone. And I'm just as big a fan and so excited to see what Nina's going to do as everyone else is. So I feel that excitement. I feel the joy of seeing all our old friends.
Jess, is it like that for you when you get to come back?
It's total joy until about the third day when I'm exhausted. And then I'm thinking, what am I doing? But I am so fortunate, you know, women of our age. Well, I'm a lot older than you, Trish, since I was already in my 40s and you were a teenager when I came on.
Not a bunch, but I'm in that same boat. There aren't a whole lot of there aren't a whole lot of roles for us anymore.
But I got to tell you, what it is incredibly comfortable. It's incredibly comfortable from an acting point of view because I know this woman so well. And it's like, it's just like rolling out of bed. It's so easy, unless there's a whole lot of dialogue. And it's not so easy. But to know that the audience loves me is the most wonderful feeling. And they do. I mean, there are a few, if I go, I'd never hardly go online to read the reviews, but accidentally you'll come across some. And they do love me and they're glad I'm back. There's maybe one in a while that says, man. But I really, it is the most glorious feeling to go there and work with my friends, see people like Tricia that I never see, you know, and you feel appreciated on so many levels. It's so great.
Yeah, that's a big part of that. I walked in and I have, you know, it's been a year. We've been cooped up. I lost my darling husband a year ago. And so to go in and feel the love and support and be so well taken care of there, it was a huge thing for me.
I wanted to talk, I know, and I'm so sorry to hear about his passing. And I know, I can only imagine. And I was thinking when I heard this was happening, I was like, oh, she gets to come back home, you know?
Exactly.
You know, which is so nice for you. I wanted that for you. And yeah.
Yeah, it was an enormous gift to be able to go and be surrounded by people who love me.
Jeannie Cooper, Jess, so many great scenes over the years. You all got to act together. They all had such great relationships on screen and off screen. Do you at all have in your head, do any moments you guys shared on set? Was there a scene that sticks in your head? What do you remember of the whole thing? Because we loved Katherine, Nina, and Jill. I mean, that was like.
Tricia, what was that scene where there were all these dollar bills all over the place?
Dollar bills?
Oh, it was money. We were offering you money and
Oh, that's right. Duffel bags full of cash
Duffel
to
bag.
leave.
Well, it was $1 million or something.
To go to
Oh, Guam.
Guam.
Oh my God. You weren't in the scene with me and Jeannie where we discovered Guam and we said there's a naval base there. She'll love it. There's lots of men. Yeah. And you were out of the country.
That's great. I know. I just know that anytime I saw on the script that I was going to be working with these two, I knew that it was going to be a good day. It was going to be fun. It was going to be a romp. Yeah. And always look forward to those scenes. I mean, please, they were delicious.
They were absolutely fabulous. I want to see some of those classic episodes again. Well, I hope we're not shut down to do it, but I would love to see some of those.
I just remember them trying to get rid of her.
God, desperately trying to
get rid of her.
For years. I mean, they're still trying to get rid of me.
Okay.
Did Jeannie give you any advice, Tricia, when you came to the show?
Learn your lines. As long as you know your lines, you can do anything you want. You know, you just go in and play, because then you've got the words. So now you can dig deep and play and have fun.
Yeah.
So it was learn your lines.
And those were the days when we had the time to do that. Do you remember? We had hours to rehearse because Jeannie's set was up last in the day. So the three of us, we knew our lines. We'd go over them, and we'd make the scenes even funnier than they were. Remember? We would set each other up for the punchlines.
Yes.
So great.
I just remember always coming to the Jeannie's dressing room, and Jess, you'd come in and I'd sit on the floor, and you guys were so funny. You were still working your lines, and we'd take a moment to do the interview, but you guys were still doing your thing. I mean, it was just such a joy to watch, because that's such great memories that everybody has of that time.
And so much laughter, Michael. Do you remember how much you laughed?
Oh my God. God.
Jeannie and Jess were a comedic duo to the end all comedic duos. Just class.
You were in there, babe. You were in there.
Yeah, well, I had fun.
So what did you think of it was interesting, Tricia, because you came back. Donnie Boas was not on the show taping the wedding scenes, right? So you met Justin Gaston, Melissa Ordway's real life husband, who stepped in to play the role. What'd you think of your chance,
I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was great. You know, I didn't know Donnie, so whoever they were going to put me with was going to be new anyway for me. And I thought he was lovely, and I loved that he was married to his co-actor there. And I thought it was a nice little chemistry that they had going, of course. And I thought it was great fun. It was wonderful.
It's interesting you said that, because you could see, because they're a real life couple, in the wedding scenes, like when she'd walk down the aisle and he'd look at her, like you felt, okay, they're in love. Yeah.
Yep.
Jess, what was that like for you? Because now there was a new chance. It was Justin.
Yeah, I've had a few scenes with Chance, and Jill and Chance got along really well. But there was something so sweet about having that husband and wife there for that moment out of time when they'd look at each other, and you knew that every word they were saying was all true in real life, and the freedom that they could be close and kiss, and you know what I mean? They didn't have to be careful because of the COVID. And he was magnificent. To stand in and do that. My hat is off to him on such short notice.
I agree.
Yeah, it was great.
And then we got to see, Friday, we saw finally Lauralee Bell and Tricia Cast together. Which was so sweet. Talk to me about working with Lauralee, your friendship with Lauralee, cricket, and
Yeah, we were I think immediate friends, and then just from day one it has grown and expanded, and she's my hero. She's been there for me when I've had some tough times, and then just being able to work with her is a bonus.
Did you call her up and say they asked me back, or how did she find out you were coming?
She was the first person that I told. Yeah, I actually texted her. I said, I have dates. And she said, yay. And then when the scripts come, I told her I have scripts. So no, it was very, very exciting. And she's the only one that I told, because they told me to keep it quiet. And I thought that, she's safe.
So Jess, when did you find out? Just when she showed up, or you knew she was coming?
Well, with COVID, I've been very hesitant to go down because I don't want to fly and the drive is long, which I do in one day. It's 12 hours. But I knew that wedding was really important. And I don't remember if they told me Trish was coming. They may have, in confidence, told me Trish was coming back, but I knew how important it was because of the storyline, bringing all three families together. It's huge in The Young and the Restless. And it was great. I was right in the middle of our move. We moved off our ranch. It was a big ranch and a big log cabin, and everything was in boxes and chaos. And I hated to leave my husband with it all, right? But then I get down there and I just flopped in my easy chair from the drive. But I got to tell you, it was one of the most wonderful times of my life, working with Trish again, working with all the oldies, all the veterans in that living room.
Oh my God, it was like Peter and Eric and Melody and Tricia and it was amazing. And Eileen and everybody was there. And then they did the flashback to them with their kids. And it was really touching the way they kind of put that together.
The way they wove it all together. It was wonderful. It was absolutely great. They even brought like Kristoff and Drew back in. With
that.
Thing. It was so great. I want to save that show for a long, long time and watch it over again. I love flashbacks anyway.
Flashbacks are fun, and just being on that stage with all those people, it was like a flashback. It was like a LSD flashback.
I know.
Of all these people, and it's almost as if no time has passed.
We're all laughing and joking. And then the minute the cameras rolled, and we get about one take because we were really, and everybody just snapped into it. Everybody was so professional, like you'd been doing it for, you know what I mean? You just had come in, and it's just because we've all been playing these characters for so many years. It was
been
great.
Playing the characters for so long, and you're on the same stage, you're on the same set, you're with the same crew. And it just fell right into place.
Yeah, and there's sentimentality of it too. Sentimentality for you guys, for the audience, the character, like all of it. This medium's very unique in that way.
Oh yeah, it meant a lot to us. It was very touching. It really was.
And it was fun.
And it was so much fun, so much laughter.
I've talked to some actors on the other shows during COVID, during production. You guys have to stay, you can't go rehearse in someone's dressing room, right? Or you cannot do that, right? They can't do that either on their shows.
No.
Correct. No, you can't go into someone's dressing room.
So is this right to tape, or are you guys rehearsing over the Zoom?
We met in the big hall. We would meet on the balcony so that, we could distance and have lots of air around us.
Yeah, but we're still with masks on, even outside, still with masks on.
Hey, Jessie, did you find it, like at first, I got used to it, but at first, when we would rehearse with the mask on, and then we would take it off, it was like a totally different vibe, wasn't it?
I know, and I don't know why, but it was like,
I don't
cut a
know
layer
why.
away. Maybe you were more naked. Maybe it was good because actors, it's good for actors,
Yeah.
I
It
get
was interesting.
very annoyed with the mask because they screwed your makeup up. So the minute we took our masks off.
I got to read it. Yeah.
I know, it was annoying, but whatever. Better safe than sorry.
Tricia, when you look back at the whole Phillip story and Thom Bierdz and the whole thing, and then he came back to the show, and then the character was gay, and then she went through this whole thing with him. What did you think about the whole arc of that, how it kind of got handled, and what was your thought of all that?
I thought it made perfect sense, and I loved it. I thought it was, I loved that they were able to bring him back, and that was a perfect explanation for it. And I thought it was great. More.
Jess, do you remember that too? What did you think about all of that?
Well, I had a small part in some of that because Jeannie and I were trying to figure out a way to become enemies again. We had gotten too close as mother and daughter. So we were looking for something that one of us could have done that would be almost unforgivable to the other, but forgivable from the audience point of view. And that's when we came up with the idea that she had switched the babies at birth or something. I can't remember the exact thing, but I called up the producer and told her this idea. It was with Deville, and she loved it. It was Lynn Leahy at the time, and she went to CBS and they loved it too, because we had to find a way to make Jeannie and Jill enemies again, because it just was too sweet. You know what I mean? So yeah, I loved it too. I thought it was great. And I loved that they brought Thom back. It was good to see him. And then they brought Kane in too, as part of that whole thing.
Right. Because he was originally supposed to be Phillip, and then he wasn't Phillip, and then he was working.
And we sure got a lot of story out of that one too.
A lot of story.
Yeah.
And Tricia, you also, who knows? You may be back. There's still Ronan out there, who's her son.
Yes.
There's Phillip Phillip is somewhere. And there's still story to play. That's what I think is so great. Nina is tied in, So how would you feel about all of that? Like, to come back and there's a Ronan story and like.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. I think it'd be great fun. I have no expectations, and I'm ready for anything. So it's all up to all y'all, as they say here. I'm blessed, and it's a gift to be able to go over and do it. And I'm ready for anything.
Jess, what do you want to see happen to Jill next? What do you want to happen now?
Well, I'll leave that up to them. They've been doing a pretty good job of it, but I sure would love Nina back, because I think Nina and Jill could have some wonderful
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
We could fight over Chance. And which baby was Ronan? Whose baby was Ronan?
Do you want to?
Yeah, so Ronan was Nina's first child after she was taken advantage of at a very young age.
Oh, Sally
Deville in the black market, Darlene Conley, right?
She was pregnant when she came on the show with Ronan, and Rose Deville stole my baby.
Well, do you know Sally Spector's granddaughter is now on the show?
That's right.
Yes.
Hope is on the show. Oh, there you go.
There's a connection.
Yeah. I mean, but so it would mean that they would have to string together Rose Deville and Sally Spectra, but that sounds fun to me.
That could be done. It could be done.
I love it.
Was Darlene a hoot to work with?
Oh my God, Darlene was fabulous. So intense in those scenes. She really scared the bejesus out of me. She was wonderful.
Yeah. All right, ladies, I want to thank you so much for taking some time today to talk with me. To have you together is such a treat, really a treat.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it.
Really good to see you. And make sure to watch The Young and the Restless weekdays on CBS. And we'll hope to see Tricia again. And we'll see Jess soon. Thank you. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael. Mwah.